In spite of the risks, ecstasy finds a ready market. In defense of the drug, people say its effect is peaceful and friendly. More acceptable, they say, than the behaviour changes caused by alcohol. In this Dublin dance club, alcohol is banned, and as in all the clubs we filmed in, drugs are not allowed on the premises. But the owner of this club knows that a certain proportion of their 600 patrons will have taken ecstasy before they come in.
If half of them are on E, I don't know how many people would be on E. But having said that, I would see a lot of people buzzing, and we've never had a row. It would seem to me that the feelings of joy that they have and the feelings of love that they have are intensified. They become more passionate. The inhibitions seem to be gone, and they hug one another. We refuse point blank to have alcohol. If we have 600 people here and there's a lot of alcohol taken, believe me, there will be a massacre.
As drink is known to bring aggression out with people. Like the ecstasy, from what I see, and I see the way people act out on it, and the way they socialise, it's totally the other end of it. It's turbocharged niceness or something, I don't know, it's just boosted in that way, you know.
I've heard parents saying to kids, wouldn't you just go to the pub and have a few drinks? I mean, what is the difference between saying that and saying, look, why don't you go out and do an E? It's the same thing, like they're trying to, it's as if they're trying to say, look, stay away from the drugs and go for a few pints, you know. And, you know, what's the difference really? There's no difference.
One obvious difference between alcohol and drugs is the fact that drinking is not a criminal offence. Ecstasy is an illegal Class A drug, and users run serious legal risks. In spite of this, ecstasy is widespread, and views on how to handle the problem vary. Manchester, a city with serious heroin and crack problems, runs a safer dancing campaign. This was the first European city to embrace Chicago house music, and rave clubs in Manchester are known for their music and their atmosphere.
Hello, welcome to Ethos. I hope you have a nice evening. Do enjoy yourself.
Manchester City Council was quick to recognise that drugs like ecstasy were in widespread use. They set up a damage limitation exercise to make taking them safer.
And what we're trying to achieve is get up-to-date information out to everyone who takes drugs. These are private decisions that people take about whether to take drugs, but what we're concerned about and what we've won the cooperation of club owners about is the conditions in which people dance. That's very, very important. It's not actually the chemical reaction in your body that causes the dangers, it's the conditions in which you dance. So you need very cool areas or chill-out areas in which you have to calm down and cool down after dancing. You need excellent air conditioning, and you need copious supplies of cold water.
Manchester has seen 2 deaths from dance drugs, and club owners now work with the City Council and with the drugs agency Lifeline, displaying notices on how to use drugs more safely.
We are aware of the fact that people take drugs. They are vetted on the door. Basically, we look after the people. We treat it as a private party for ourselves.
I think, obviously, people have to be very, very careful with drugs. Drugs isn't something that's of paramount importance in this club. It is a lot to do with atmosphere, a lot to do with the people. The deaths connected with in the media have been reported, obviously, in various ways. A lot of them are connected to do with alcohol abuse as well. Generally, a lot of the people here, if they do take drugs, they do it very, very sensibly.
Clubs in Manchester are aware of the risks with ecstasy. The responsible ones provide supplies of free water and chill-out areas where dancers can cool down. Others have a body search policy at the door.
The other thing we do is we have 2 people that are qualified and experienced in people taking these types of drugs. They walk around looking for these people, spot them if they see somebody that's going over the top, so to speak. They then take them away to like this area, which we call a chill-out area, or the ladies' toilets, even outside, sit them on a chair, calm them down, talk to them, find out what they've actually taken.
Drug advice, available water and chill-out areas in clubs can make the taking of ecstasy safer. But does this campaign in fact condone or even encourage the taking of drugs?
When you have 1 in 3 15-year-olds experimenting with illegal drugs, when you have such a massive market, perhaps it's important to specify to young people what precise risk they run if they take LSD, what precise risk they run if they take ecstasy, what the risks are of taking powders and tablets that they can't identify. So from that point of view, I think the dilemma about how much detail can't be resolved by saying no detail. This is going on, it's happening. I believe it's spreading very rapidly in Ireland.
The Manchester Safer Dancing campaign has an inbuilt contradiction. Don't use drugs, but if you do, do it safely. The authorities in Ireland do not favour this approach. It could, they say, encourage drug taking.
Because on one hand, what you're saying is this drug is dangerous, it should be stopped and people shouldn't take it. And on the other hand, if they see authority figures then, if you like, helping them take the drug, the children themselves can become quite confused about it.
Can we take it to the max?
Not all Irish club owners agree. Some believe that clubs should display information on safer drug use. But to do so, they claim, could close them down.
I do feel there should be very much more open in the voice on how to use drugs if you're going to use them. Unfortunately, like, you have a needle exchange program here now. It should have been here 10 years ago. I believe if we had advice slips for younger people who are using ecstasy, whatever advice is needed to be given to them. Because the fact is that they're going to use it, and not you or I can't stop it. Even the police can't stop it.
We don't need that anymore.
Dance drugs are in widespread use, and adults can make informed decisions on whether or not to take them. But the age group experimenting with these drugs is in some places alarmingly low. In one Dublin club, which for legal reasons we cannot name, ecstasy is available even to 12-year-olds.
There is numerous clubs catering for this music, but there is one club that is really abusing the whole thing of it, you know what I mean? And everything else along with it. They will literally let anybody in. It is money and the story. So money has no barriers to these people. You want to push a kid in on a prom, you go ahead. To me, £7 on the door. I don't care what happens to you when you walk outside this place, and I don't care what happens to you inside. So that's where, like, if kids can get into places, they will go in, believe me. Because everybody's adventurous. We all want to check things out in life, new things in life. So if they're let into the clubs, they will get in, and they will take in. And that's where it has to be stopped. There has to be a policy where there's nothing under 18 or even 20 allowed inside the doors or anything.
The Gardaí have this particular Dublin club under surveillance, but the terms of the legislation are such that it's very difficult to successfully prosecute club owners, even those who flagrantly abuse their trust. In the meantime, young people, very young people, can obtain these drugs.
The age difference is really at the going down low, you know? Like, it's gone down right now to, what, 13 and that, you know? 13-year-olds selling these and taking these and all, you know what I mean? And it's crazy, you know? Like, they don't really know what they're letting themselves into, sort of.
You could start from about 9 upwards, you know? You know, it's unbelievable because the drug dealers, they don't really care once they get their money, you know?
Given the age at which young people can obtain dance drugs, it's a matter of some concern that there's no schools program in place. The Department of Health provides information and warnings on other drugs, but so far it has failed to target ecstasy, the drug of the 90s. It would be wrong to suggest that even the majority of young people involved in dance culture take ecstasy. All drugs are prohibited in this club, and for most of the dancers, it's the music that's the drug.
I'm not into the drugs, you know? I just love the music, you know?
Drugs aren't that important at all. It all depends on what kind of scene you're in. Some people do drugs, some people don't, you know? Like myself, I don't do drugs.
Like, people might do ecstasy, so therefore it's a drug culture. I mean, it's there, it's bound to be a little bit part of it, but like, there's a certain amount of people might do ecstasy and there's another amount of people just come in and want to dance. They like the music.
Only a proportion of young people take ecstasy before they go to clubs, but it's available and facts should be faced. Can these drugs be stopped? If not, should we provide advice on how to avoid some of the dangers? Even those exposed to the ecstasy experience cannot agree.
I feel ecstasy has been promoted as a drug with no serious side effects, a drug which is a safe drug to take. My experience has shown in the drug treatment centre that it's a very dangerous drug.
Once you take one, you're always chasing that buzz again. You're always looking for the same hype you got off the first one, and you never get it.
I don't understand why they're so staunch. Why don't they educate themselves about it and then condemn it? Don't condemn something you know nothing about.
It's like Russian roulette, really. And I think there's going to be a lot more deaths unless people become aware of the problem.
You know, if someone is going to do them, they're going to do them. And I think the more you try and stop them, the more they're going to, you know, do it. That's human nature anyway, you know.